Hello and welcome. Yes, let's go. 98 points is my highest rank right now. In Gameweek 17 is where I'm my team starts to flourish. And of course, nothing special, just a casual Salah 42 points. And of course, Isaac has been purchased in right time and he's been played, of course, and not captaining him. I was at the beginning a little bit thinking I made a mistake there. I should have gone differential. My differential captain would have been Robertson, and like last minute or like 2 minutes before the deadline, I decided to go with captaincy on the reliable Mo Salah and never get fancy. Almost cap Salah is the Magnus Carlsen motto. We decided to stick to it and were rewarded because he scored much more points than anyone else in my team. In fact, I think he scored on his own. No, not really, because I played Rodgers, and I must say that that was a conscious decision. And a very calculated one as well, because Man City are in shambles and João Pedro, like the form that Brighton are in right now, whether I play at home, away, I don't care. I'm not going to be playing him again ahead of Rodgers, although he blanked a few times before. But I was really happy to see that Rodgers is not really stepping in from the bench instead of other players. It's a shame to see Saka injured, and it definitely puts a spanner in the works for many teams. And I made my transfer already, so my transfer previously was Kerkez to Robertson, which didn't really change much. Kerkez received same amount of points. I thought I need to target that Southampton feature, and it could be like a haul for Robertson, like 20 points haul, you know, like we had previously with Lewis Hall. He scored 15, and I expect like these little differentials, they will propel your rank. Like recently, I've been struggling to get into top 1 million, and now I'm about to compete with top 100 ranked players. And most of your creators are within the same rank. So this is where I'm getting there, slowly, step by step. And I thought that getting Robertson would be a good idea. Now it is a really tricky fixture. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Saka replacements. And for many people, he is in the squads. For many, you are still looking forward to improve your midfield. Maybe you want to get rid of Mbumo, right? It's not in my agenda right now. I will be still playing him. And he has Southampton very soon. And some people don't have Palmer or Salah, so I'm making this video assuming that your team is very similar to mine in a way where you have this triple premium in the midfield, or you used to have, just because Saka is now injured. Many people are transferring him out, and I suggest you to make your transfers and consider making them early, because the price on the players that you may be getting into your team is rising. In particular, Odegaard and Jesus are predicted to be rising in price. So I'm playing around with this team where I think I'm gonna be taking -4, even though it's not warranted. I can still easily play João Pedro, so this would be my team that I'm picking. So the idea is that I will be benching Saka, and I still will have a very powerful team. The problem is that I want to target these fixtures for Liverpool and Arsenal, like literally this game week. So that's where -4, chicken -4. Look, it's rarely it does play out well, and sometimes you actually can be benching a player who is holding. You never know, man. And but my bench is looking very weak, so making one transfer is a given. Most likely it's gonna be Saka to another player. And then I wanted to get rid of João Pedro because his fixtures are getting worse, and Brighton are not looking good at all. I also can have an argument of eating out Nicholas Jackson, who has been very underperforming. Well, I expected it to happen. It's just like his fixtures are very good, especially next. There's Ipswich, there's Wolves, there's Crystal Palace, maybe cheeky goal there. I just think that Palmer is the only player from Chelsea you realistically need. Obviously, Sanchez came clutch with 9-pointer, but he was blanking almost every game week, so it definitely is not enough to for his atonement. It's not working like that. I need every game, I need 6-9 points from a goalkeeper. And Raya is not delivering either. Look, he is also conceding every other game. But the next round of fixtures is where I think I'm going to be getting rid of Raya as well in favor of a cheaper goalkeeper for tripling up on Arsenal in the midfield. So I think the optimal squad for me would be, right, if I had unlimited amount of transfers. And by the way, Gameweek 19 is the last game week where you actually can use your wildcard. So before the Gameweek 19, you would want to use that. And if I had a wildcard, I would be getting rid of Saka, of course. I would be getting rid of João Pedro, right? Maybe Nicholas Jackson too, but that's a little bit of luxury move now. And the idea is that I want to get Odegaard and Jesus. So these players, I'm going to be talking about their data, of course, and showing you the Chakma. You see, this is where I think Odegaard is a little bit underwhelming. His expected goal involvement is pretty low. from a team like Arsenal, you'd want someone who have like 1 XGI, maybe like 0.5 XGI. I don't know. Of course, it's not possible, but you are looking for this ultimate nailed player who is gonna be on penalties, who is gonna be scoring goals, assisting. Odegaard is probably him. So I'll be getting him, and then it's Jesus, who actually is reborn, right? Closer to Christmas. And by the way, Merry Christmas to everyone who is celebrating. So Jesus is a player that I really want to get into my team, and he will be the ultimate differential because nobody has him yet, and he just started playing. He was getting a few cameos here and there, and look, it was all solely blanks. Blank, 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 one. Blank, 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 blank. Not even playing, right? Not even a single minute. And all of a sudden, a game against Crystal Palace, who are like, everyone wants a piece of Crystal Palace now, like their defensive asset, and they conceded 5 at home. And now you're getting a player who was one of those attackers, inflicting damage on this reliable quote-unquote defense. Many people are getting Munoz, of course, for attacking threat, but I'm saying that Jesus, who scored in the cup, who scored a hat-trick in the cup, mind you, scored 16 points against Crystal Palace, can be a cheeky differential, and these are the fixtures where they have Everton, where they have Brentford, Ipswich, Brighton, Spurs, Villa, Wolves. Obviously, they couldn't score a goal against Everton. That was a little bit frustrating. But now that he is in like also he mentioned that he has found form himself. He's happy to get some playtime finally. And you see, getting him for Ipswich could be a massive differential. And that's what many people are doing. I'm just in an unfortunate position where I didn't save any transfers. So the idea would be probably getting Jesus now or waiting for that wildcard in Gameweek 19 and then playing it quickly and then saving my transfers towards like the fixture swing in Gameweek 30, 31, where I can use my transfers instead of the wildcard. What I want to get is a differential, and why exactly? Because I'm usually reviewing the teams of English Premier League players and they have like their mini league. There's a whole mini league for Liverpool players. And look at this, Salah has been trusting Szoboszlai in his team, in his fantasy team for a while now. He didn't score many points like in a way where he is getting a massive green arrow, although I think he got in a green arrow. Yeah, he's getting a green arrow. It's just like, I noticed there was a moment, and I tweeted about that as well, where he was passing the ball and there was like 2 options for him, either pass to Luis Diaz or Szoboszlai, and he made a pass to Szoboszlai and Szoboszlai nutmegged the goalkeeper, and Szoboszlai was making a darting run from the midfield as well, and I was like, is there any bias from Salah? Is he actually passing to Szoboszlai to improve his fantasy? Like, obviously it's not the case, but you never know, man. He has him in his fantasy team, this Mo Salah's team. I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm appealed by Szoboszlai. So if you take a look at the Szoboszlai impact, we can take a look at the game against Tottenham. Very open game, which I expect to be something very similar against Leicester. The only thing is like why I don't want to go with Luis Diaz yet. Maybe we'll be getting some kind of early team news. I don't know. It's just like he is one of those players who's getting subbed out a lot. But look, it's also for Liverpool. If you take a look at Newcastle game, that's where both Luis Diaz and Szoboszlai were benched. So they're actually main team players according to this setup, right? And they were subbed in and they changed the game, right? Salah equalized and Salah scored again and Trent was assisting. Szoboszlai was holding like the midfield or maybe playing a little bit more advanced. But that's where I was really impressed by Szoboszlai's performance in a game against Tottenham. And if you take a look at the shots, and for instance, if you take a look at Szoboszlai's shots, these are 6 and all of them are inside the box. This is insane. This means that he just camps in the box at times. And if you take a look at Diaz, who is everyone getting instead of Saka, right, targeting that fixture against Leicester, we don't even know if Diaz is going to be starting. And if he's getting like 30 minutes, is he going to be as productive? Position like Szoboszlai, like Szoboszlai's position. Yes, it can be played by Curtis Jones, by Elliott, but you know what? It's a position that doesn't require as much stamina as running on the flank. So Szoboszlai can get much more minutes during these boxing days than Luis Diaz. And Luis Diaz's shots, bro, like, tell me what was the last time he scored outside of the box like this. Yes, he creates a lot of danger by cutting inside and trying to shoot. But as you can see, these are either P-rollers or it's not even hitting the goal. Yes, he scored 2 goals, unlike Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai scored 1, assist 2. But it's more about like where he's taking the shots. This is where I believe the goal will go in. But that is very open game, and I believe Leicester game will be the same. It's just like whether Liverpool would want to take it to the 2nd or 3rd gear against Leicester, or will they like, score 2 goals, calm down and see the game out. Speaking about other assets which you might want to get is a few Newcastle players, because Newcastle look like a well-gelled machine. Not many teams can come to Ipswich and score 4 goals unattended, unanswered 4 goals. And that's where Isak scored a few, and he was one of the assists were from Anthony Gordon, who looks very exciting. Another differential option for you, not from the teams that are competing for top 4, but they are definitely competing for European football. And if you take a look at Gordon's shots, they were none. Okay, there were 3, but yeah, there were 3 shots, of course, but these are inside the box, no goal scorers. He is very attacking. He stands in the middle of the box as well at times. Obviously, Isak will be standing like in the middle of the box a lot. But this was the game where they were like scoring on the breaks. It wasn't like they controlled the entire game. I was watching this, very, very crazy, very exciting Premier League game. And finally, Crystal Palace, another differential that you would want to get and who scored against Arsenal, mudded the double clean sheet, or for some people triple clean sheet, is Sarr. So I think when we talk about Ismaila Sarr, it's a crazy differential right now. Crystal Palace will have some nice fixtures ahead of them. And look, there's a few other players that you would want to bring in, but many people are mainly focusing on either Liverpool or Arsenal assets. Of course, there's Bowen, of course, there's Gordon, and other players like Enzo, maybe, like Ahmad, like Bruno Fernandes. But I wouldn't be trusting Manchester United players just because they're going through this transition phase. So I'm never thinking that bringing in Bruno is just like, wow, what a differential move. It is going to be a very popular transfer. He's on penalties, makes sense. They're playing Wolves, they can score goals there. But the next fixtures are not looking that exciting. And they conceded 3 to Bournemouth, 3 unanswered goals, and that was a little bit scary. So the fixtures for Crystal Palace will look like this. It's Bournemouth away, then it's Southampton at home, then it's Chelsea at home, and then it's Leicester, and then it's West Ham. This is Ismaila Sarr. He's going to be feasting in most of them, but I'm not rushing to get him for Bournemouth game because Bournemouth show fantastic defensive data. So my idea would be probably doing either crazy hit where I'm getting Jesus and a cheeky midfielder. So I'm contemplating whether getting Szoboszlai or whether I'm getting also Semenyo is an interesting pick too. It's just like goals from Bournemouth team are coming from so many different spots. But look, there's Foden as well. Like, look, Foden could be an interesting differential. So I'm not doing this right now. I just think that I'm gonna be doing the following. It's gonna be like one move. I want to get rid of Saka probably, and I want to get a player, right? And that could be Foden. Look, Everton already visited Arsenal, and they held them to a goalless draw. So Everton can as well repeat the same feat against Man City. But then there's Leicester, and then there's West Ham at home for Man City. So for this run of fixtures up until 90th of January, you can hold Phil Foden and expect a comeback finally. Like, there should be some kind of like a glimpse of this light in the end of the tunnel for Man City. I hope so. Very expensive asset, of course, but you can get him too. So look, I'm most likely going to be getting either Arsenal or Liverpool asset, but if I were to experiment, I could even low-key, wait a minute, that could be an interesting differential. So that could be João Pedro for a hit it for Jesus, right? So assuming I'm not sure. Look, I'm not sure about Arsenal team, who is going to be scoring goal there. Martinelli, Jesus, Odegaard. But I just saw the data from Odegaard and I wasn't really that impressed. And hoping on this hype train of Jesus could be an interesting differential. So this is 2 more differentials into my team. Foden is owned by 4% and Jesus is owned by 5%. This can go so wrong when people are getting Bruno and he's scoring a penalty, of course. But this can go so right when Ipswich are letting down tools and Everton are conceding like 1 goal and Foden is involved. Let's take a look at the teams of Premier League players, and that's where I'm kind of like leaning towards getting Szoboszlai and Jesus into my team, just because Salah has him, right? So I'll be jumping on the same train and getting Szoboszlai. 17-pointer, very nice. Can you replicate the same performance against West Ham, Leicester, and Manchester United? I will be there. It's just like, for him, I think he gets more minutes than Luis Diaz in general in the next 5 games. And that's where rotation is like yes, he can get rotated, but I think Luis Diaz, he can get rotated with Gakpo, who is equally as impressive on the pitch. And obviously, if he's playing down the middle, that's where Darwin Núñez can play. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's an interesting, and also Jota as well. He's now recovering from injury and gets some playtime too. So Szoboszlai, you obviously it's not like risk-free. He was rested for this game. I think it was before, after the Champions League or before the Champions League game. But usually he gets a lot of minutes. You know what? He's not getting that much in these games. Aston Villa, 25. Arsenal, 27. So he's getting 2 90s in a row. Then he's getting 23. Then he's getting 78 and 90. Look, if Szoboszlai is benched, I will be furious, realistically. But I don't know why would he be benched. And you can even try to predict, but according to this pattern, there's a big chance that he's gonna be either playing only 70 or benched at the start. And that is not looking good, man. I just think that he was so impressive in that game against Tottenham, and he's really like, look, and that's impressive for a center midfielder. It's not really holding, but maybe he's like attacking midfielder. Expected goals involvement, 2.29. I mean, he's not a joke at all. But that is Salah's team, getting a green arrow, not enough to get him into top 1 million rank. And Trent, he abandoned his team. And yes, he's getting a red arrow, but his rank is still better than yours. Imagine an abandoned team beating you. No transfers, no captaincy changes. He plays, I mean, Kudus is even delivering for him. You see, it is insane. And also he has Harwood Bellis in the bench with 8 pointers. Who would have thought? And then you have Andy Robertson, who I think is active because he made some transfers before. He's like carrying... No, actually, wait a minute. Hasn't been making much transfers lately. And it looks like he's not changing the structure of the team. Smith Rowe is on the bench. So it looks like Robertson forgot about his fantasy team. I mean, he needs to focus on his performances on the pitch. I agree with that. And he forgot to captain Salah. Look at this. Look at this fraudulence. Diogo Jota, though, he is cooking 96 points and top 10k rank. Diogo Jota is cooking every fantasy crate. Like, I think not a single fantasy Premier League YouTuber has a rank of 10,000. Nobody can boast that. That is insane. And that's Diogo Jota, a professional footballer. He has time and analytics and thinking to run a team and to maintain it. And also, he's not benching many points. He's benching Timber as well. That's crazy, bro. And that's an insane result for Diogo Jota and Conor Bradley, who is trying to get into top 1 million, getting a red arrow this time. Oh, good luck next week. James Justin getting 70 points, and I think that's still a red arrow for him. Captaining Salah, though, if you didn't captain Salah, I feel like you're pissed at the game this week again. Everyone who is captaining Salah is getting a lot of points. Although, look, Reece James, Loki, is getting a green arrow without Salah captaincy. It's a nice AINA 15-pointer here for him. He now believes in his boy Cole Palmer, so he's captaining him, of course, makes sense. Anthony Gordon has no Salah, and he's not going to be getting a lot of green arrows without him. Captains himself, though, like, I like the spirit, man. And Jubilok with 60, again, Salah is in his team, but he is not captain. Oh, he's captain Haaland. Interesting. I mean, you see, this is where you can't believe these players, bro. They don't know ball. How can you believe in City in this format? And then you have, especially away. Then you have Stormzy, 76 points, another green arrow. Now I think he's getting there. Not captaining Salah, though. Like, I feel like he can't nail a perfect game week yet. And then, of course, Concise with a -4 points hit. Captaining Salah, which saved his game week. Other players didn't deliver at all. And the transfer that he took, he brought in Diogo Jota. Ait Nouri is benched. Obviously, he's not suspended for that game. Brings in Hall. I mean, Jota for Odegaard. This is an interesting thinking, but I don't know about that. Now, Saka is the player that you would want to eat, not Odegaard. And maybe about bringing in Odegaard. Maybe he was frustrated with the fact that Odegaard is not really involved in many attacks. And FPL Raptor is an insane 100 points score. And his game weeks are only getting better from this point on. And there you have Focal with 88 points, who is trying to get into the 100,000 rank. Everyone is captaining Salah, very reliable player. Why not? You have Harry Daniels with -8 points hit, and this is a red arrow for him. Let's see if his transfer spans out, and 45,000 francs still nice. It's Morgan Rogers out. This Morgan Rogers player, and Semenyo, of course. Oh, that is looking bad, man. So he brings in Ahmad, Enzo, and Munoz, and none of these players, I'm really looking at them and seeing like so many points in them in the next few game weeks. Maybe I'm wrong, but he immediately yeeted out 8 and 14 points. And obviously Ait Nuri was suspended, so at least you couldn't make a mistake there. And all of these transfers are made late at night, as you can see. Look, I'm not judging, but it feels like sometimes it's better to sleep on these decisions. And I'm saying that about myself because I made these mistakes in the past so many times. 73 points for Andy, 260,000 rank, and red arrow for him despite captaining Salah. And then you have Fabio Borsch, who is... Actually, my rank is better than Fabio's. What? Wait? I'm better than Fabio Borsch. And the count now. He's got 73 points and he's captaining. Why I'm saying that? Because he's well known to be the most consistent manager out there. And we have Ben Crellin with 29,000 rank. A little bit of a red arrow for him, captaining Salah, and a little bit of a differential team going on here as well. So these are my thinking. I might be doing like also like a quick transfer just to avoid the price rises. I might be taking a chicken -4 just because I can. Just to target the fixtures and get rid of João Pedro, who is really annoying and he is not really being used, I think, correctly by the manager. I feel like he's playing number 9, but if he's playing 10 of a striker and Ivan Ferguson is the striker, obviously they're missing Welbeck. I don't know, this team is just not clicking. I'm just happy that I didn't bring in all these Brighton defenders that people have, like Mitomas, Balebas, I don't know. You tell me, like I'm just happy that I avoided these traps. The only problem that I believed in João Pedro and I want to yeet him out before it becomes mainstream. So these are my transfer plans. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like. Happy holidays and I'll see you next time. Peace.